because of this line issue.
Right, right. And I think, from our perspective, the goal would not be that they walk away saying the county is great. So I know that's a key piece for other folks in this room to be mindful of, but that they walk away with more knowledge and understanding of both the successes and the challenges, and ideally what they could do to be a positive force in continuing the progress.
I think you have a big opportunity coming up soon. For many people, whether it's fair or unfair, the annual homeless count has become kind of a report card for the whole issue of homelessness. And I go back to last year's count, and there were a lot of messages from elected officials expressing surprise at the results of it. Yet we came into our meeting here, and I asked the director of WASA at the time whether he was surprised, and he wasn't surprised. So I think there needs to be consistent messaging that surrounds the homeless count, because many people, and especially the media, will put a lot of emphasis on that. It's only once a year, so that's why I say it's an opportunity, and it's coming up soon. I don't know when that count gets released, Will, but
Be very rapid.
okay. And will your team be ready to respond to that, do you think?
Yes, I would say that we'd be definitely cognizant of that, as well as any of the other kind of macro issues that are floating out there.
Take a look at this.
The nature of this is always
This is the percentage of money they can spend.
A big event like that will be something.
And I think it would fall more to
These
our
guys are
office
slobs.
and the communications arm of the chief executive office to work closely with WASA, which we did last year, and I think
This will be up tonight.
those results were surprising to too many people, and so we will be aligned with them and make sure that we've got a good messaging plan.
I'll say to that point, I thought the communication last year with the count, it was the first time that I saw the housing placement, the number of people who had moved off the street in the previous year highlighted front and center, and I feel like there was a shift in narrative that made more clear why things looked the way they did and the underlying root causes. There was a great step in that direction, so if we can keep building on that, I think that would be great. Any other comments or questions? No?
Okay.
Thank you all. I think we may have public comment, which you can stay up here for or sit down, but thank you. We really appreciate this. This is, to John's point, compelling and clear, and excited to build upon this.
Yeah, I think the FBI is doing to them.
So we have two people that signed up for public comment, Cecilia Reyes and Janice Harding.
Well, it's all relevant.
Janice, you go first. Just go up to the right side of the mic.
Eddie, I'm going to get in your car.
Hold it really close.
Good afternoon, my name is Cecilia Gomez Reyes. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist for Whittier First Day. We're in Supervisor District 4 and in Whittier. We serve Whittier and surrounding cities.
There you go.
So I also, excuse me, I also am responsible for the communications and social media for our organization. And the video in the beginning, I don't know if you may recall, in the beginning of the homeless initiative, where they profiled 4 different cases of homeless individuals and their stories, was part of the reason that I became involved in homeless services. So currently in my capacity, we're the front line of a lot of the comments and misinformation, and we're able to educate folks and advocate for our homeless neighbors. So I would like to be part of this campaign as part of a street-based or local nonprofit. We don't have the funds to pay for these types of productions of videos and things like that. So I would just advocate for a true campaign where it's a coordinated effort with all homeless service providers. I'm part of the steering committee for SPA 7, and so I'm sure there's a lot of members of SPA 7 that would also want to be part of it to promote this effort and it be a true public awareness campaign. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Janice Martin, Ecumenical Liaison, providing services to faith-based institutions within the 2nd Supervisorial District. And a lot of that work includes communication about the homeless initiative. I would ask that you consider expanding the information network. I'm excited about the work that the communication team is doing in terms of expanding or revamping the website. That's great. However, that assumes that everybody's going to the website.
Exactly.
And my
It'll be up for
experience
another
is
year.
they're not. And
Even their own
so
right?
the conversation is continuous, and there are barriers, there are a lot of barriers, but the conversation is continuous about helping people to understand the information. And too many times, people are not current, and they're not current because they're not going where the information is. So my encouragement is just to ask you to think, as you think forward, also think backward, because there's a generation or a population of people out there who are still working with paper as opposed to an internet. There are people who are still talking face-to-face, and they're not texting, and they're not tweeting, and they're not on Instagram, and they need to know, and somehow they've been dropped off of the radar. And if there's anything you can do that will consider them in a way that would help them to embrace this message as well, I think it would be great.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Great input.
A thoughtful person.
True.
Yeah.
Should I go?
That concludes that item. Thank you so much. We'll move on to item 8, Measure H outcome funding, and we'll turn
Okay.
it
Good to see you again.
Thank you. So unless you want to reverse the order, I thought we could just start with
We all
any
do.
questions you might have regarding
Fiscal year.
or the data therein. And then I can provide an update
That
on
Ansel?
the Measure H funding recommendations process for the coming year.
You guys are bringing this $500,000.
We'll just pause for a moment to see if there are questions on quarterly report, questions or comments. Okay, so we...
Another bitch who went to the suicide doors.
And we can talk about
Dawn.
recommendations.
Okay,
That's what they call
thank you. Since the last time we were together, we submitted a board letter to the Board of Supervisors recommending 2 significant changes in
I gotta put batteries in.
the process. The board approved. The board